We've seen over the last few years now, and it's growing in terms of popularity, the idea of having your best wide receiver be a slot wide receiver. Players of recent years that operate exclusively out of the slot and dominate in the NFL are guys like Cooper Kupp, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Going back years further, guys like Odell Beckham Jr. We see it current day, 2024, Ladd McConkey is a great example of this. And last year, before his injury, we saw an emergence of Chris Godwin taking over and operating exclusively out of the slot. And he was on a trajectory to absolutely win us fantasy football leagues last year. But what if I told you there was a new sheriff in town in 2025? This wide receiver right now is working exclusively out of the slot in their team's OTAs. He's not even one of the top 35 wide receivers being drafted in fantasy, yet he's going to be his team's number one option out of the slot and should easily run away with top 25 or better production. That new sheriff in town for 2025 is none other than the Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers. And let's talk about it. So Jakobi Meyers, despite finishing as the wide receiver 19 last season, is going off the board on Underdog as the wide receiver 40. I do understand the argument of Jakobi Meyers had his best season last year and we can't expect wide receiver 19 to be something that continues to happen in his career. But let's talk about Jakobi Meyers' career, because is it an outlier season last year, or is he actually a productive wide receiver? Jakobi Meyers, to put it nicely, has never really been put in a QB position or a team-friendly environment to succeed, I would argue, up until this point. He hasn't had too much consistency at the quarterback position, at least once he got to the Raiders. His QB play that he had consistently in his career in New England was Mac Jones for 2 seasons. We're going to go season by season because I don't want anyone attacking me in the comments saying, Jakobi Meyers played with Tom Brady. What are you talking about? We're going to get to it. Don't worry. So in 2019, Jakobi Meyers had Tom Brady for 13 games. Yes, but this is 2019 Tom Brady. This is one of his last seasons before he goes to Tampa Bay. And it's just not Tom Brady. It's the name, but you're not getting Tom Brady level production out of him in New England. That just wasn't happening this year. And Jakobi Meyers was barely used in the offense in 2019. They had a rotating group of wide receivers, and Jakobi Meyers just never really got his fair share of opportunities that year. So we move on to his 2020, his sophomore season, and his quarterbacks were Cam Newton and Brian Hoyer. The team had a combined 12 passing touchdowns in 2020, so I don't think you were going to get much production out of Jakobi Meyers in year 2. But let's just add to the fact that out of those 12, Jakobi Meyers threw 2 of them. So 2020 is sophomore season. He's arguably their best pass catcher and arguably their best thrower of the football. That's not really a great situation. Jakobi Meyers' 3rd season, 2021, he gets rookie year Mac Jones. I'm not going to trash rookie year Mac Jones. It wasn't a bad quarterback season at all. We were very hyped and excited for the future of him at one point, but it's not fair to say that 22 passing touchdowns was something that was going to catapult Jakobi Meyers into an elite wide receiver tier, and it shows with his wide receiver 29 finish on the year. He managed to just put out a good quality season in fantasy for what his cards and what his opportunity was at that point, and the same follows for 2022. He finishes again as the wide receiver 29, but this year, Mac Jones completely unravels. He has bottom tier quarterback play in his 4th season. So again, we're going through the years, and other than his rookie season where he didn't get to play much, Jakobi Meyers hasn't really had an opportunity to shine. So for those reasons of not getting the opportunities to thrive, Jakobi Meyers decides to take his talents elsewhere and sign with the Raiders in 2023. But the bad quarterback play still followed Jakobi Meyers. Aiden O'Connell ended up becoming the starting quarterback because Jimmy G was just so bad. The team was horrible offensively. They threw 20 total touchdowns combined. Jakobi Meyers did have one of those. So those 2 quarterbacks combined for 19 of them. What helped Jakobi Meyers here and helped him get to a wide receiver 24 finish is that he had 11 total touchdowns on the season. So he was the only person being utilized in the offense, and it paid off. Now we fast forward to 2024, where they add Brock Bowers, an elite target, somebody that dominated the league, yet Jakobi Meyers still ate and had a wide receiver 19 2019 finish on the season. And the offense and quarterback play didn't necessarily get any better because they still had Aiden O'Connell throwing the football. They still couldn't reach 20 passing touchdowns as an offense in total. So Jakobi Meyers, again, is just making the best of what's due, finishes as wide receiver 19. And now we're going to give Jakobi Meyers and this Raiders offense a whole new look. We're adding a dynamic running back to the offense. This is year 2 of Brock Bowers, a generational tight end, we believe. We have a brand new coaching staff in Vegas and now a new quarterback in Geno Smith as well. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that Geno Smith is one of the 12 or 13 best quarterbacks in the NFL, but if I have to convince you in any way that Geno Smith is better than Aiden O'Connell, you need to watch some tape, my friend. My elite ball knower viewers out there know that Geno Smith is a much better upgrade at quarterback over Aiden O'Connell, and this offensive system I project to be better than what they've had. Even if it's not, even if this team still can't barely throw 20 passing touchdowns, Jakobi Meyers is in an opportunity to shine, operating exclusively out of the slot this year. Teams will have to game plan and figure out how they're going to stop their running back, how they're going to stop their tight end. Nobody's going into the year trying to figure out how are we going to stop Jakobi Meyers out of the slot. So for those reasons, I think Jakobi Meyers is a great draft pick. I think he's a sneaky wide receiver to finish with upside that we don't even know if he's ever tapped into that potential before. Even though 2024 was a better indicator for us to believe Jakobi Meyers is going to be better this year, somebody like Terry McLaurin floated around that wide receiver 29 range, never had a quarterback. Yes, Jaden Daniels is a much better quarterback than anybody I've just mentioned in this video, but once he got his quarterback play in his age 29 season, he had a breakout year, and now we're drafting Terry McLaurin as a legit receiver. And I could see that pathway unfolding for Jakobi Meyers as well, who's also going into his, guess what age, 29 season. Even though he is a member of the thumbnail, this isn't a put Chris Godwin on some lower pedestal to raise up Jakobi Meyers. This is more so we had this last year in Chris Godwin, and now if he's going to start the season on the pup, he's guaranteed to miss 4 games at least, right? I don't believe that his ankle is going to be immediately recovered once his pup tenure is up. He's going to have to get used to the offense again. It's going to take him a couple more weeks. You're drafting Chris Godwin before Jakobi Meyers right now. Jakobi Meyers is going to probably play more games this season, be more reliable for you this season, but we've seen it more from Chris Godwin before, so we trust that. But for the price you're getting Jakobi Meyers at this year, similar to, I'm not going to say 100% close to Chris Godwin last year, because he was definitely not the 40th wide receiver drafted. He was somewhere in that 30 range, someone we were like, maybe he'll be good, maybe he won't, we don't know. Then he started taking snaps exclusively out of the slot, running all of his routes from there, and dominating the NFL, and I think Jakobi Meyers can be on some sort of similar trajectory, maybe not top 10 wide receiver numbers, of course, but break into reliable wide receiver 2 territory. Look at someone like Courtland Sutton. I'm not the biggest Courtland Sutton fan. Every year we don't value him or rank him as a wide receiver 1, yet every year he flirts with those numbers at least. He's so reliable. It's not a flashy pick. It's not a sexy name. It's not a great offense. I think Jakobi Meyers checks all those boxes as well. But with Chris Godwin potentially missing out on games, we're talking about elevating the value of Mike Evans, who already flirts with top 12 wide receiver numbers as it is, could get even more opportunities. And now we're opening the door for Emeka Egbuka to break out in the NFL as a slot receiver in this offense. Similar to Ohio State's wide receiver JSN, Emeka Egbuka is somebody that can operate out of the slot and just dominate the field and find little spaces to just work with and get the ball in open space and be an absolute problem. However, unlike JSN, Emeka Egbuka, if Chris Godwin is going to start the season on the pup, is in a great position to get opportunities and actually show what he can do in the NFL. So this second surgery news for Chris Godwin makes me want to draft Emeka Egbuka more, and it's going to make me value Mike Evans even higher than I already did. But you guys let me know in the comments. Are you still going to draft Chris Godwin? You could stash him on your IR. Do you want Mike Evans now because of this? Or are you just going to wait in your drafts and grab Egbuka and hope that he breaks out? I know for sure I'm going to continue to draft Jakobi Meyers where I have been drafting him because I believe in the talent at the end of the day. But comment down below if there's any wide receivers in this tier that you like even more than Jakobi Meyers. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you liked this video, and only if you liked it, of course, No pressure. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you like fantasy football content, you want to stay up to date on what's going on before you draft in your fantasy football leagues, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got for you guys today. My name is Turtle. This is Outlier Fantasy. And I will see you in the next video. Wow, you stuck to the end of this video? Thank you so much. If you're new here, make sure you check out one of these videos on the screen right now. And don't forget, before you leave, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any fantasy football videos on this channel. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next one.